Welcome to Super Pixels Weekly, a podcast about video game news and anything else revolving around video games and the nerd subculture. We are your co-hosts. I am Donovan.
And I'm William. Our show is available on all major podcast platforms and in video form on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to email in your questions or comments for the show at superpixelsweekly@gmail.com. Also, our individual Twitch and YouTube links are in the description as well.
One last thing, you can get some sweet deals on some PC games through the instant gaming link down below if you're listening. If you're on Twitch, it's also in the About Me section. And it's run through my Twitch. If you're looking at some stuff, Elden Ring just came out, looking for a sweet deal on that, I can help you out with that, right? We're talking about that later. But also, if you ever want to donate to the podcast or us or our individual YouTubes or Twitches and whatnot, or my Twitch, his YouTube, what you can actually do is just click the link, the extra life link in the description if you're listening on Twitch. It's the same thing as the instant gaming link. It's in the About Me section. Click that. You'll get a little bit of a description of what they do as a charity. They help kids with video games who are in extenuating circumstances. So if they're in the hospital, we're going to get them some PS4 Pros and PS5s, to play some games because we take that for granted every day. But if you want to cut a big, dumb paper check like your Publishers Clearinghouse and you want to come to our houses and do it, what you should actually do is donate that money to those kids through those links because kids cannot wait. Here we go. What?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So today was supposed to be the second part to Games That Made Us.
Yes, actually, yeah.
That we did last week with our boy LOWMESA. Fortunately, we started recording a little too late, and he wasn't able to make it. But
that's fine. We're gonna probably, excuse me. We're gonna probably roll into the part 2 next week, because that's where we're at. But also, roll back if you're listening to the descriptions, and of course, follow LOWMESA. Our boy X, get him to affiliate on Twitch.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, man, just that was really it. Follow him, get him to where he's at. Okay, so I remember what I was gonna say. What you need to do is, followers are cool. You want to follow them all day, but Twitch's analytics when it comes to being a affiliate, you need a average of 3 viewers per week or like for streams, right? So just follow them, put on notifications, and then when it's like, yo, LOWMESA's live, it'll either be Final Fantasy 14 or now I think X and I are on the same page when it comes to Dark Souls games. I think Elden Ring is on his list. What you can do is go watch him fucking get mad at Elden Ring, like you probably have been watching me get mad at Elden Ring the past hour if you're on the Twitch stream, right? Get him to that average so we can hit him with affiliate and then kind of like, I don't want to say elevate him because that's, obviously yes, but like get him to where he needs to be. Get him affiliate because it's honestly, it's such a good feeling. Like I'm an affiliate and it feels so good on Twitch to get that email to be like, hey man, you're good. We're going to start paying you when people want to pay you to watch you play video games. And I was like, holy shit, dude, I fucking made it. I'm in the big leagues, right? It's a good feeling. So help us help him get to where he needs to be.
Yeah, he was streaming Elden Ring earlier, so I'm sure he'll be streaming more of that. He's been on our show twice. He's a cool guy, funny guy. Go watch him. He's not a big streamer, so it's like you don't have to worry about not being seen in the chat. You can actually engage with the person playing the game. So
X is super. I don't want to say engaging, but yeah, that's the best way to say it. He's super engaging with his chat. He's not an affiliate yet. We're trying to get him there, so you're not going to be like tuning into the stream and be like, oh, cool, it's 400 ads, great. Like, you pop in, you see some gameplay, you talk to him, be like, yo, what's up, man? And I promise you he'll pick your brain on whatever you want to do and whatever you have to say, right? I mean, don't go in there and be an asshole because it's the internet, so people will do that, but yeah, just go pop by, give the man a follow, give the man a like, give the man a view, and you might be the person that helps him get to affiliate, so it feels good.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to do a little bit of a different thing this week, right? Because a lot of the time when we are doing our stream, or I'm sorry, well, stream, I guess, but our podcast, we we end off the week with what we've been playing, but because there's such a fucking, I don't even want to say AAA title, I want to say quadruple A title that just dropped, right? We're going to kind of talk about Elden Ring first, because that's where we're at.
So, yeah, Elden Ring being such a big deal, it's huge right now, sweeping the nations. So yeah, I know you've played it.
Yes, sir. So if you're on the Twitch chat and you're rolling into it, you watched me just get done playing this to roll into the podcast.
So, since you've been playing it, I haven't. I've never played a Souls game, really.
Oh, you sweet boy.
I bought Elden Ring, though, so it's time. So what I want to talk to you about is how you feel about the game so far, and then what I need to know before I go in. But before we get into it, this is a celebration.
Oh.
And we're celebrating.
Oh, you got a 40, bro? Oh, man. Holy shit.
40's for Elden Ring.
Hashtag, start that shit.
Yeah.
40's for Elden Ring.
I got a 40
Dude,
to celebrate the release.
What you should have done when you got the 40 is kept the paper bag that came with it. Because, so that's the thing, actually, this is an offshoot caveat / whatever you want, a tangent.
Yeah.
But when I was in college, we used to do that as like an event. What is that noise?
What?
What the fuck was that noise?
I put the...
No, it was like a... like...
I don't know.
All right, whatever.
Is it gone?
Yeah, it is. I heard it. That's weird.
I don't know.
But anyway, when I was in college, we used to actually make it like an event every like Friday night or so. We would call it like hobo gaming. So we'd run to the bar like down the street, or the distributor or whatever, the beer distributor, and we would we'd buy like 2 or 3 40s a person, which is a lot of beer. Like, that's not okay to be drinking.
Yeah.
But we would keep the bags that it came in, and we would hobo drink when we were playing video games, where it was like we take some pulls off some shit and nobody knew it was in the paper bag, right? It was fucking hilarious. I think the first time we did it to christen this event was when Outlast came out on PlayStation 4. So we were playing Outlast, drunk as fuck off our ass, hobo drinking while playing Outlast. So yeah, no, it's a good time.
That's good. Yeah, I figured I would get a drink to celebrate the release of such a great game, allegedly. And I was like, man, get a 40. Why not? So,
yeah, I'm drinking an IPA that I'm pretty fond of right now to celebrate it. Which, to be fair, has probably hindered my Dark Souls abilities, if we're gonna be honest.
Probably.
I'm about 2.5 in, so I was drinking while I was playing. Every time I die, I'd be like, God damn it! Like, I'd take a big chug. So
this looks so ridiculous. I love it.
It looks like you're drinking like Miller High Life from a Sprite bottle.
Yeah, like a 2-liter bottle. So before we run into how you feel about Elden Ring, I have a little bit of kind of facts going on right now.
Yeah.
So right now, Elden Ring, the reason why it's such a big deal is obviously it's a new Dark Souls game, big fan base for that, but the reason this is so big right now is, I mean, this game is getting 10 out of 10s, like perfect game across the board. Some reviews not as much, but most reviews are 10 out of 10s.
Which never fucking happens to put that on the table.
It's rare. You got Elden Ring, fucking Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War. It's up there. The Last of Us 2.
It's upset AAA, quadruple A title where it's AAA and then it releases and they're like, this shit's going plat, bro.
Yeah. So I wrote on the doc, FromSoftware was in their Duffy, for sure. Um, I see you unmuting your mic, so I don't know what you were saying.
I said bringing that out, bringing the Duffy back out. All right.
Yeah. So it is the highest rated game of all time on OpenCritic right now. And OpenCritic, I think, is user based. Is it?
Yeah. So OpenCritic, from what I understand, is like the Rotten Tomatoes critic / audience score. Like, it's OpenCritic's the audience score, where like people play it and they're like, "This is great," and then they leave a comment or a review.
Right. So highest rated game on OpenCritic right now has a 97 on Metacritic, and that's tied with you're reverse muting your. I can't.
I did. Which, to put it in perspective, a 97 on Metacritic never fucking happens. Because Metacritic is, from what I understand, again, is super notorious for giving like low scores for games, because they take big like critic facts or critic opinions, like non-player based, but like video game critics into account. So
yeah,
good game, honestly.
Yeah, what Metacritic is, basically they just take the media outlet scores and they just throw them in, and it kind of averages out a score. So it's tied with games like Breath of the Wild, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Mario Odyssey. Those are like the top of the list, which all are amazing games. So yeah, right now that's why that's such a big deal. Also, I think their peak concurrent players on Steam was like 750,000, which is insane.
It's a fucking huge amount, honestly.
What's crazy is I think peak concurrent for like Dark Souls 3 was like 100,000. Like,
which is still at this like a lot of fucking people to keep playing a Souls game.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about this game that kind of brought Souls games to the light, like to the limelight, basically, to the main stage.
I can tell you that in a second once we get through the stats, but yeah.
Oh, that's it. That's all I got. I'm just saying, it's a powerhouse. It's going off right now.
Yeah. So the reason that Elden Ring is fucking popping off is number one, which this is a user critic, I guess, if you want to say it. I love it. So I'm a Dark Souls vet, and this is a bit of a controversy in our friend group, but I'm going to throw it out there, like my Pennsylvania friend group. So I have been a backseater to Dark Souls 1 all the way up to Dark Souls 2. I've never actually finished these games. The first Souls games, or first Soul game that I finished was Bloodborne. So this is a tangent, but I was like, hey, yeah, like whenever people talk about Dark Souls like 1 and 2, I was like, yeah, so I basically finished those games. Because I was with somebody, whether it would be my friend RJ or whoever, who had played them, and I was like, okay, like I know the game. Because it was essentially a Let's Play, but like in person, so to speak, right? This got like mistranslated through our friend group, and they were like, yo, Donovan's a piece of shit. He lied about it. He never fucking finished Dark Souls. I was like, I never said that. I've never finished Dark Souls 1. I've never finished Dark Souls 2. I've never finished Dark Souls 3. But I've been a backseat or a Let's Player, so to speak, with those games that I'm like, all right, I know what's coming because they've laid it out. Bloodborne on PS4 was the first Dark Souls or FromSoftware game that I had finished by myself, and I was like, that was a fucking that was a hoot, you know, like goddamn. Which I feel like playing Dark Souls 1, because I played it a little bit and then I was like, okay, whatever, this isn't my bag, but it got me interested, right? Where I was like, hey, this game is so fucking hard that like I'm almost obligated to finish it. Like, don't fucking insult me in my ego game. Like, how dare you, you know, right? That was the whole point that got me started on this fucking FromSoftware road, right? But yeah, so that was that. I've never finished any of the Souls games, even like as far back as Demon Souls. Like, I have not finished myself a playthrough, but I've been a backseater to most of them, whether it's like being in the same place as friends playing it and be like, oh, I killed like Dark Souls 1. Oh, I killed Gwyn Lord of Cinder. I'm like, all right, we beat the game together. Like, we did it. You know?
So my history with Souls games went like, I think it was 3. booted it up. I think we got it for free 1 month on PlayStation or something. I played like 20 minutes and I was like, this ain't me. This is not it for me, Chief. I was like, no. And that's as far as I got. And I haven't played the Souls game since.
All right, so that's the thing, right, with Elden Ring. Number one, it is the most user-friendly Souls game that I have ever encountered. And being, like I said, that's kind of the history, right, behind it. Being a backseater to most of the Souls games, including Bloodborne, and like playing through that and finishing it, Elden Ring is the most user-friendly Dark Souls-esque game that I have ever encountered.
Yeah.
The summons, where you can pull up random NPCs to be like, boom, you're going to help me with this boss. Or even the multiplayer aspect. It's so much more streamlined and so much more forgiving than the other Souls games that I've seen. So it makes it more, to compare it to like a real life situation, I play a weekly D&D game with some friends from work every Sunday. And
nerd.
Yeah, right? Honestly. And the addition of D&D actually matters, right? So 3.5 came out, I don't even know the date, but I'm assuming either you're going to edit it and you're going to pull up a Google page, or I'm going to find it right now. But 3.5 and 4.0 were the D&D versions that I was so used to, like growing up with D&D. And they were like, in our group, they were like, hey, we're going to play 5.0. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but okay. Because the rules change every game, but they're like remotely the same type stuff. But 5.0 is the same thing. You can compare D&D 5.0 to Elden Ring when it comes to user-friendly like UI / like ability, right? Because D&D 5.0 is the most user-friendly version of D&D, because it's like, hey, you want to play D&D? Sounds cool? All right, boom, here's how you do it. When you roll back to like 3.5, it was like, that's fucking cool. You want to play? Read the books, motherfucker. And you're like, oh shit, oh god, like you have to learn all these things. With 5.0, it's very streamlined. It's very easy. Like you can use the online service to make a character, D&D Beyond, and be like, boom, 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 like I'm gonna make a rogue, and like it lays it out for you. And they're like, all right, you want to print this shit? You're like, yeah. And it's like, cool. That's the same thing with Elden Ring, because the multiplayer menu is you hit start, because I play on a controller because I'm not a fucking psychopath. You hit start and you roll down the multiplayer menu, and it's like, hey, you want people to come help you? And you're like, yes. And it's like, cool, got it. You put the summon thing down, and it's like, all right, if someone's around, they'll come help, right?
Yeah.
That's the most user-friendly UI I've ever seen with multiplayer. With Dark Souls 3, I think from watching what I've watched, it's so much more complicated to summon somebody to your realm. And then with the same thing goes with Duelist. Like you can avoid, for the most part, any type of multiplayer invasions, because that's a big thing when it comes to Dark Souls, is the PvP aspect. People can invade your world and be like, fuck you, and just come kill you, and you're like, wow, what the fuck? But one, you can turn it off, because the Souls games are, at their root, meant to be played single player.
I'm turning that off immediately. I don't want anyone...
No, do not do that. No, because then that means that we can't play together. Which means we can't, like, I can't drop down and like, hey, where you at, Bill? And you're like, hey, man, I'm here on the map. I'm like, all right, got it. And I got to put down my summon sign, and then we make the same, like, multiplayer password.
Is it a platform?
I don't know. We can find out on the podcast. But
I'm gonna look it up while you're talking.
But so the multiplayer UI is so user-friendly, it's not even funny. Like, that was the whole entirety of the most part, because we got on PC, we got it at 6 p.m. EST Thursday. So when I got off of work, I was pretty mad. I got off work pretty late, whatever, but I came in and started playing. I just, to give you some perspective, I beat the first, like, what would you call it, like cutscene, like, boss for the story tonight. Because last night we did a lot of dumb, like, multiplayer fucking shit where we were all joining each other and then beating the same boss, like, over and over to grind, but it was like side bosses. So like we were doing that, and like it was fun, honestly. Like it was the funnest experience I've had in a Souls game, because of the fact they made it so user friendly. Is it cross-platform? Did you find that out? Or
yeah, no, it's not. So.
Yeah, then turn your online off and get good, I guess, honestly.
The only person that I can get to hop in my game is probably X.
You go come in there with that fucking whack.
Yeah. So, obviously, me being completely new to this series, I'm pretty intimidated. But what I hear is it is the most kind of accessible one. It's still not easy, and I know that. I expect it to kick my ass, but
it is not designed to be easy by fucking any means, honestly.
Yeah,
dude.
And I know that. The main reason I've become so interested in it, because I didn't care about this game until like 2 days ago, until like, you know, gaming outlets started really covering it, and then I started learning more about it, and I'm like, this sounds really cool. Like, you get dropped into this open world and they're just like, fucking do it, like, go ahead.
Yeah, so like that's the thing with Elden Ring's progression, not progression system, but like the campaign or story, whatever you want to call it. The most guidance, and it's a long shot, dude. The most guidance you get is one of the biggest Souls mechanics is the bonfire thing, where it's like, hey, you found a fire, cool, go rest, like no enemies are around you, go hang out.
Which is like a grace thing now.
Yeah, it's called a like found grace or grace. With these in this particular game, the grace gives you like a fucking, it's like, hey, you gotta go that way because it's an open world. So it's like, yep, just walk that way, you'll find something. Either you'll find a new bonfire or a new grace, you'll find a boss. You're like, all right, I gotta go that way to kill that guy or whatever, but it gives you a general direction. With the older Souls games, it was like, yep, have fun, and you're like, where do I go? And they're like, I don't know, where do you go? And you're like, I don't fucking, like, shit. So like, you would almost have to like do your own research, realistically speaking, to dig into like, okay, this is the next boss that's in the main story, this is the next side boss, whatever, because that's a big thing in FromSoftware games too. All the Souls games and Bloodborne and all that, and Sekiro, is that there's bosses that progress the story, and there's bosses that you just happen to run to and you're like, oh fuck, shit, fuck. Like, you can kill that and get some cool XP, or you can avoid it entirely and then just keep going. So
yeah, no, I like that, that they just kind of throw you into it, because in a way, I mean, there's a story to it, but you're kind of writing your own story. You're fighting different bosses at different times. Like, I might fight a boss at a different point than you'll fight a different boss, and like, we'll cover stuff at different times. Like,
it's happened multiple times in the Discord that I run with like who's been playing it. It was like, hey, where are you at right now? I'm like, oh, I'm over here. I'm like, okay. Hey man, have you fought this boss yet? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, do you want to come to where I'm at? Because they know where I'm at. And be like, you want to put your summon thing down and we can fight it together? And then since you're here, then I can go help you and we can do it. Because that's the one thing that I don't want to say a lot of people have been complaining about. But like the one difference is the progression system is strictly off of the host's progression. So like if I'm hosting and I'm like, oh, I've never fought this boss before, but you also haven't, we beat it. For me, you spawn back into your world, so to speak, where you left off. So if you know where we're going, like that's the one thing. It kind of like I don't want to say forces you, but like you're like, hey, let's meet up here. I'll beat it for me, and then I'll join your thing, and we can beat it for you, type thing. So it I don't want to say forces cooperation, but if like, hey man, if you're friends, like you're like a friend group together, the max players you can have is 2 plus the host, so 3 people total. You can like round robin, like, all right, I'll host, you guys join, we'll kill it, and then you host and we'll both join. So it like forces cooperation when it comes to like friend groups. But I don't even know what to say because all the reviews are out. Like, it's a fucking fun game. Like,
yeah. No, it's being praised everywhere. We're just another podcast talking about fucking Elden Ring. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, this is gonna like fucking sink to the bottom depths of the internet with how many big like
Yeah.
journalists are talking about it, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
but
when I logged on the Twitch today to start streaming, every single fucking person on my followed Twitch page was playing Elden Ring. I was like, yep, all right, no one's gonna watch this that I don't know. Like,
yeah, same. And then I go on PlayStation and everyone's playing Elden Ring. I'm like, oh my god.
yeah, like they're doing the home screen live broadcasts and shit.
One thing I did want to ask you about though is PC performance, because I hear that's kind of a problem right now. So what's up with that? Have you experienced that?
No, me personally, I have not had a single issue. The only issue I've run into with PC performance with frame rate drop is external services that I've been running. So like I was streaming it on Twitch and I had like a frame drop for a second and the game caught back up. But I've been running at a constant like 60 to 120 frames a second with RTX, and the fucking game is beautiful. I haven't had any issues. It's the same thing, like the same case I make for Cyberpunk, because that was a big thing back in the day when 2077 came out. And they were like, this game's dog shit. I was like, I have not had any problems. I'm sorry to...
Well, I mean, that's good that you haven't ran into anything, because I hear a lot of people are mad about it. A lot of people are kind of review bombing it for it.
So that's the one thing I feel like, not for... Oh, well, I guess for a review bomb. The thing that I feel like might be the biggest issue is, I want to say last gen. Only because I know the game engine, and I feel like it's built a lot around the RTX / ray tracing technology that the newer graphics cards come out with. So I feel like it's built for PS5. It'll probably run perfectly fine on PS4 without issues, but you're not going to get that full quote-unquote experience that a lot of people are like, yo, this game's so beautiful, and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, it's a game, I like it, it's fun. You know, you're not going to get that like, oh shit, that giant tree over there, I can see those shadows, you know. But as far as performance, I don't think it's going to cause a lot of problems with last gen consoles, because the game, at least from what I've experienced, and like I'm running a pretty high tech machine over here. It like auto corrects. It's like, okay, you're running this, we're gonna set the settings to this, and you can't change them because we want the game to be as fluid as possible.
Yeah, well, that's good. FromSoft they've already said like, hey, we're addressing it, we're gonna fix shit, so they're already on it. Me as a PS4 player though, I haven't booted the game up yet, but I can only imagine it probably won't be as good looking as yours, but I'm kind of used to that at this point.
No, so. Yeah, not even to like cut you down, you know, but I feel like it's definitely not gonna look as good as it could be on PC on a PS4.
I've played Battlefield 2042.
That's what I'm saying. Like you played 2042's beta on PS4 and you were like, this is whatever. Yeah, you're not gonna have an issue. Like
I still thought it looked good, but it definitely didn't look as good as yours. So.
Oh yeah, I think you popped in the stream that one. You were like, Jesus Christ, this game is beautiful.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That game looks incredible, but they're just dropping the ball in so many other ways.
There it is, add to the count. Won't be a podcast without us shitting on EA once.
Sorry, it just charges me up, you know.
Nope, don't apologize. Fuck those guys.
I get the 40 in my veins, and then I want to go.
You get that Miller High Life, and you're like, I'm ready to fist fight all of EA.
I'll pull a Donovan, I'll fist fight you in the parking lot.
Take my shirt off.
Yeah.
I like this shirt. I don't want you to rip it. I'm gonna take it off.
So, do you have like any tips for me for Elden Ring?
Tips. All right. I was waiting for this. Let me fucking lay it on you, young Padawan. All right. So, for the fact, number one, with Elden Ring or any Souls game, do not take the game personal, because it is literally designed to, I swear to God, I shit you not, to piss you off, right? To give you an example, or to put it into perspective, there's a very early area in, like, right next to, like, after the tutorial, because this is the first Souls game that gives you a tutorial. You can choose to do it or not do it, but when you're in the... yes. Yeah, so, like, when you're in the... I think it's called, like, the Cave of Learning or whatever, like, when you spawn, as a tarnished. It's like, hey man, like you'll see this shit because it's one of the memes that goes around the Dark Souls community where it's like, hey bro, like you can leave messages on the ground for other players. And like a lot of the messages are like they're trolls. Some are like liars, but some people will be like, hey, that dude's lying, don't listen to that guy. But one of the main messages you get in that cave are like, bro, just jump off the ledge. And you're like, I'm not fucking doing that. But you have to progress to like the actual tutorial. And it tells you like, hey, this. You've never got that anywhere else in any other Souls game. This is the first Souls game that's like, hey man, this is how you play the game. And you're like, all right, cool, I got it. It gives you a rundown. Yeah. In that, right, you're going to go through it and you're like, this is fucking cool, I love it. And then you're going to go back to where you started because like the map loops around. And then it's going to be like, all right, open that door. And you're going to go through and like, that's the game. Don't take it personal by any means because it is fucking 1000% designed to kill you. It's the same thing as like what I work on in the army. It's like an Abrams. It's designed to kill. It doesn't fucking care who it kills. But you can use that to your advantage because a lot of the bigger fucking big boy enemies make them swing and kill the smaller guys, you know? But as far as like advice, keep moving. Number one, keep moving. Oh, I'm sorry. Number one, don't take the game personal because it's designed to be hard. Number two, always keep moving. Lock on to the target and just read them because it's the same as Sifu, which I want to talk about later. I haven't played it yet, but I've watched a little bit of Let's Plays and I feel like I would love it too. It's a Dark Souls game with like fighting controls, basically like Street Fighter controls. But the whole point of it is designed to make you play it multiple times or die and then play again so you can start to understand, hey, this enemy's like side, swipe left, right jump. Like you can learn their attack patterns, so to speak. Yeah. So then when you're like, all right, motherfucker, I know what the fuck you do. You can learn dodge, heavy attack, dodge. You know, like you can learn what they're doing and then beat them at their own game. And then it feels so much more fucking cathartic and like you're like, oh, like it's so vindicating to be like, fuck you, motherfucker, I got you. Like, eat shit.
That's how, if you remember that isometric game I was playing for a little bit, Death's Door, that's exactly how that game was, which a lot of people compared that game to Dark Souls, but they were like, you go into a boss fight, you're going to die at least like 7 times, but once you learn the boss, you move him, and then you kill him, and you're like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker, like...
Yeah, that's the thing, that's any Souls game from FromSoftware, their entire MO is to be like, hey man, here's the boss, and you're like, all right, and you die, be like, oh wait, if I dodge right instead of left, he can't hit me, because that's one of the biggest problems I just had, and not to spoil it, because I won't, because you're gonna forget. I know
the boss I've seen the boss fight.
The one that has 2 phases, when you hit him, and he's like, all right, ha ha ha, fuck you, and he brings a hammer out, like, I learned after 6 deaths, I was like, I should stop dodging to the left, because that's where his weapon is. I should dodge to the right, so I can avoid it. Like, it took me a minute, and then I had a couple people, like, our buddy Orion is in the Discord. He was like, hey man, you want some help? I was like, yeah, you know what, let's pop in. I'll summon you, and we'll play the game. But then, like, it scales multiplayer down, too, which is pretty cool. Because if you have some friends that are, like, blasting through the fucking game, it brings them back to where you're at in terms of their skills. So it makes it a fair fight, which is fun. But also it's a fucking 90 degree to 360 degree, if you want to go that far, like learning curve. Like it's a right angle to figure out how to play this game.
Yeah.
But that's their entire selling point, is they want you to be like, you're gonna die, but we want you to take something from every death, which I feel like is super cool when it comes to if you put it in like a psychological like mega meta, like this is off topic, but like psychological standpoint, be like, oh, they're teaching me to learn from my mistakes, right? Like, FromSoftware is my dad, and that's the title of this episode. But honestly, I feel like it's number one, don't be upset that you died. Don't take it personal. Number 2, I forget what I said.
Keep moving.
Keep moving. There it is. See, you're learning. Hell yeah. There you go. You're already beating the game. Number 2, keep moving. Number 3, all right, if you have friends, summon them. Fuck it. There's no ego. Summon X. There's no ego like involved. There might be for some people, but me personally, I don't give a fuck. If I am summoning 2 friends to beat a boss that they're like, hey man, I beat that by myself, I'm like, that's fucking cool. You help me. Eat shit, boss.
All right, I do big flex, all right?
Exactly. Like, don't let ego get in the way. So 1, don't take it personal. 2, keep moving. 3, summon some friends if you got them. Number 4, classes, right? What speaks to you, as weird as that sounds, when it comes to a class in an RPG game? Because that's really all this game is.
Yeah.
Right? What class did you pick or want to pick?
I mean, I don't really know the specifics of all the classes, but typically in a game like this, I go with like a quick, usually like maybe dual wield axes type shit. So like
okay,
quick probably.
So if you compare it to Skyrim, like a sneak boy with like dual wield type things. Okay.
I like being fast.
So the biggest player curve, or one of the biggest player curves, is this class. It's called the Vagabond, or I forget. Fuck. There's a couple. There's one class, I forget the name of it. There's one class that starts, I think it's Rogue. It's a Rogue class, but I forget the name of it. But you'll see it when he picks it. The dude's got like one of those fucking like half face masks, like have at the like highwayman masks. Mm-hmm. From what everybody that's been playing the games has said, it's like, hey man, this isn't a beginner friendly class. But if that's your class, if you're like, hey, I want to be the sneaky boy, because to talk about more, right? This is the first Souls game with a stealth element to it, besides Sekiro, right? You can just go in a bush and go prone and be like, all right, motherfucker, and you can wait, because one of the big mechanics of a Souls game is backstab, or like, I guess weakness targeting, right? So if some dipshit guard or like whatever is like doo-doo-doo and walks past you, you can sneak up behind him and fucking like backstab him. 90% of the time, if it's a weaker enemy, it's an instant kill. If that's your bag, if you want to be the stealth guy and just avoid the big boy combat, that's a class for you. I would pick, I'm going to look it up to make sure, because I forget what the name of it is, and I don't want to lie to you. But I've watched a few videos like on tips and stuff, and this one guy was like, dude, just go in there and play whatever class you fucking want to. Like, people are like, oh, this class is hard. Like, no, just do what you think will be fun for you. Bandit. So that's what it's called. Bandit. All right. But yeah, do what you think you want to do, because it's a Souls game, so it's meant to also be played 100% multiple times. Because there's some things where it'll be like, hey, do you want to spawn with this item? And you're like, I don't fucking know what that means. But then you play through the game, and you're like, oh shit, if I make a new character, I can get that stone key or whatever they give you at the beginning and hold it, and then go fight this halfway boss or whatever early and shit. But Bandit is the stealth class, right? Okay. So the one thing about this too is they have switched back from a leveling thing. So strength used to be the skill set that determined your carry weight / like equipment weight, right? Where your equipment really does play a big part in this game when it comes to your movement, which makes sense. But one of the biggest things is people would level up strength so they could keep their dexterity, right? They could wear heavy armor but still roll really quick, because that's one of the big mechanics of Dark Souls 2 is a dodge. Like, I'm gonna roll, like, I'm sure you've seen like the memes of the gifs of like, oh, I'm a Dark Souls player. It's like an MMA fighter, and he just starts rolling around the ring, and they're like, oh, this guy plays Dark Souls. That's the thing, right? So with this, they have switched back from strength, which is usually based for a combat class. Like if you want to be the warrior, hero, prisoner, confessor, or whatever, you want to deal big melee damage, that's your stat. But if you're out there and you kind of want to like flip around with whatever, endurance is actually the skill that levels up your stamina and also your carry weight capacity or your equipment load, right?
Yeah. So you can get lighter when you're rolling.
Yeah, exactly. So you can roll faster, because if you weigh a lot, if you're wearing really, really, really heavy armor, you might have the stats to actually wear it and be like, oh, I'm a tanky boy. But if you want to roll away, right, the animation actually slows down if you don't have the stat to compare to that, right?
Yeah.
So you might have an endurance 12, but a strength fucking 25, whatever the fuck, and you're like, I'm a fucking beefy boy, but you go to roll away and dodge, and you're like, ugh, like you're moving as slow as I am on camera, like, ooh, like the roll slows down, right? So the higher your endurance, coupled with whatever, you're going to congruently be able to dodge fastly while also taking a punch. But like me personally, for as classes, because I haven't played Sekiro and I really want to, I picked Samurai because I'm a Dark Souls quote-unquote vet. The lorically speaking, the Uchi Katana, which is a giant katana that they give you right off the bat as a samurai. They're like, here you go. It's like the best, like one of the best weapons in the game. They're like, here you go, man. You can have it. They nerfed it a little bit, but for this, they're like, yep. Like I got blinded by it, so I'm stuck with this class. Whatever. I'm gonna play it because I love it. But I was like, holy fuck, that's the best weapon in the game. And I started like playing, and I was like, oh, they nerfed it. They nerfed it. Okay.
Yeah.
But one of the big things too is you die consistently. Just grind, pick up stats, pick up fucking XP, pick up consumables from these enemies, and go level your gear up. Because one of the big things they have too is like a blacksmithing table where you can bolster your particular weapon's stats. So, to answer your question, which we've gone off on a tangent, realistically, if you want to be a sneaky boy, play a bandit. If you want to be a like user friendly, like I've never played a Souls game in my life, type of thing. Honestly, it depends on your play style. But if you're like, hey, I just want to go in and play a Dark Souls game as it's like quote unquote meant to be played, play a Confessor. What is
the most like run of the mill hack and slash character you can get? Like what is the Kratos of the game? Just fucking running around killing shit.
For class?
Yeah, like who's just like a dude with a sword and he just fucking shit up.
So Confessor.
More complicated than that.
Confessor. So the Confessor is kind of like a paladin build when it comes to like Diablo 3 or like a D&D comparison, because they swing and shit and they can take a hit like you're just playing the game to play the game. But if you further delve into that class build, and you play a lot of multiplayer, the Confessor can become like a healer build where they're like, all right, I'm taking a lot of damage, I'm gonna heal those guys, I'm taking a lot of damage type shit. But from what I've seen and like the people I like, everybody in my Discord like all went Samurai because they're like, oh fuck yeah, like we're all Dark Souls vets. Our one buddy RJ went Confessor.
Okay, so let me ask you, I was on Kind of Funny stream when they were playing it, and I said basically like, yo, I've never played this game, like what class should I be? And someone said Vagabond, but you said don't be him, be them.
No,
right?
I confused the, yeah. So Vagabond is like kind of like the median stats. Like, hey, you want to play a Dark Souls game? To play a Dark Souls game, be a Vagabond. I got Vagabond confused with Bandit because you were talking about being a fucking sneaky boy. Bandit's a sneaky boy. Vagabond, Vagabond and Confessor both kind of work in the same light. Vagabond more so, where like it's like, hey, you want to just start a Dark Souls game? Here you go, and it teaches you how to play. Confessor, you have some magic involved where you're able to heal or like heal multiplayer players that you play with and stuff like that. But if you're strictly gonna play solo, Vagabond is probably the way to go, I would say.
I'm probably going to be playing solo for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, if we could play together, I'd help you, but yeah, like, it's kind of shitty that we can't.
Well, Crystal is talking about getting into this game, so if I can get her into it...
Oh, my sweet summer child, oh god. Don't sully her image with this.
It was so funny 'cause she doesn't really know what this game is. She's just like seen it, and I'm like
Oh,
hyping. And she was like, I'm gonna, cause she knows it's like hard as fuck because everyone says it like that's the meme. And she was like, I'm gonna pick the easiest difficulty, and I was like, oh.
honey, there is no difficulty at all. The game is so punishing. Like I
wish there was, because I would be on baby mode. You know, I'm always on baby mode. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you've told me like that's our dynamic. Is like you're on baby mode all the time for everything, and I'm always on like death march, fucking insane difficulty. Yeah. Like I gotta beat it. If she's gonna do that, you guys can play together because I know you have 2 consoles, so do that for sure.
I mean, we're right next to each other too when we play games.
Yeah, but like my sweet summer child. Oh God, there's not a difficulty meter. Like I told you in the group chat with Luis, where I was like, I got fucking ass fucked by like baby fucking bullshit enemies because I was like, what's up? Haha, fucking parry this, you casual, and then fucking like backstab me, and I was like, holy fuck, I died. Shit. Like random fucking enemies will kill you, like if you're not careful. So the whole game is designed to make you be like, all right, what the fuck's your game plan? Okay, I got it. And you start like learning the sprites, so to speak. Like you're like, all right, this guy's got a shield. He's probably gonna block a lot or whatever. But stealth, this is the first Dark Souls game with a stealth element, so that really comes into play because backstab is a huge mechanic. If you can get around an enemy, or like you parry and they're like stunned, and you can like fucking skittle scattle scoot around them and fucking backstab them, like that's usually for most lower enemies an instant kill because you fucking boom right through the spine, whatever.
I've seen people do some stealth stuff. So
yeah, it's like the same thing works with bosses. If you can get them down, it's called a visceral, where you can stun them or stun lock them. You can visceral them from the front, or you can fucking skedaddle around and fucking backstab, and like their health bar goes like down because it's a stealth kill, so to speak, or a stealth attack. That's how you play the game, bro. Honestly, is like you got to play for the weakness.
I'm gonna do my best. My biggest thing is just because I already know I'm gonna get frustrated. I just need to stick with it.
Yeah,
I just need to keep going.
To 100%, I can tell you right now, you're gonna want to put your fucking fist through the console and the TV, just because that's the game.
And I've been playing Ollie World. That's all I've been playing for like 2 weeks straight, and I'm getting that with that game. Like I'm getting like this fucking level. Like I can't land this fucking trick. It makes me so mad. Like,
that's it, man. Like I was, if you watch the stream back or whatever, or like watch the VOD when we do the editing. And you're like, oh shit. Like I was like, what the fuck? This is bullshit. Like how the fuck did that hit me? Like, or like the game is designed to obviously be hard, but like I was fighting the first boss with a buddy. Like we were, and then like if you're hosting a session, like if Crystal joins you and plays, if you're the host and you die, they go back. Like there's no like, hey, yeah, like you don't revive. That's it. So if you're the host, you kind of have to like be like, hey, can you aggro the boss while I like don't die?
Distracted.
Yeah, like basically. But also the environment will fucking kill you too. Like I was dodging this boss on stream. Like you watch, I was like, what the fuck? I was dodging this boss to the right because he had this second phase, so to speak, where he pulls out this like giant golden hammer and starts smashing the ground. So I went to dodge. I dodged off the fucking cliff, and it was like, you died. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I rolled off the cliff, and it was like, sorry, bro.
That's tough, dude.
It's fucking rough, because the game will put you, like, I'm going to do that. Like, it'll put you on a rail. It's not designed to be, like, it's designed to be open world, but, like, boss fights are like, hey, you're in this area, motherfucker. And, like, if you see a ledge, you're like, I should not go go near that, because I'm going to die. And, like, that's what happened.
From the videos I watched as well, I learned that to never be afraid to run away if something's too fucking strong.
Yeah, you like ego. I think I said in the group chat, ego is the biggest part of this game. You're like, I can take that. Like, fuck that, dude. Just run, fuck it, run away. Like bosses be like, all right, fuck you, go back through the mist. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a chance, like because the way the experience system works is whenever you kill something, you get what are called runes, which is like souls in Dark Souls speak. I keep calling them souls now. But when you die, it drops it, and it's like, hey, go pick that up. If you don't pick those souls up, you've lost all the experience you've gained. Yeah, no. So, like, one of the big things is, like, you'll go to a boss fight and you'll die or whatever, and the first thing is like, oh, yep, like, yoink, like, you go to grab it to make sure you have it, because if you die again, it drops it again. But that was my thing with this first boss, is I died once, I was like, alright, I kind of got his thing, I got it. And the second time I died, I rolled off the fucking ledge, and I forgot to pick up my fucking souls. I had like 2100 like XP, and it was like, all right, if you die 2 times in a row, like, they're gone. So, like, you have to, like, okay, what's your plan, man? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
And, like, they don't give you a chance to think, right? Not to detract you from playing this game, but like, you have to think on fucking all cylinders. It's like, oh shit, that's a smash. Oh shit. Like, because it does not, the fucking learning curve is 90 degrees. 100%.
I'm excited to give it a shot. My first
I want you to stream it or some shit. Like, I want to watch you play this, because I want to be like, bro, no, go left.
Yeah. I have to stick with it, though. I mean, I just dropped $60 on it, so, like, I have to play this game.
Yeah.
Like, I have no choice.
100%.
So, hopefully it goes well. Would you believe if I told you that we've been talking about Elden Ring for 50 minutes?
Yes.
So this is why I put Elden Ring at the beginning of the show, because I knew this was gonna go long. It's the Elden Ring podcast.
That's yeah. I forget what I told you the title was gonna be about 20 minutes ago.
Shit's called 40's for Elden Ring.
That's what it. Damn straight. That's the title. No, that's good, because this game needs to be brought to the light. Obviously, it's got major press coverage because of the fact that, like, well, you could do, like, I think it got a lot of press coverage because, one, FromSoftware hasn't come out with a game in a hot minute since Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. But George R.R. Martin, the motherfucker that wrote Game of Thrones, was involved in this, in the world building. So the game is good. Like, from a lore standpoint, it's good. And all the Souls games have always been good when it comes to, like, hey, this is the world, drop it in. And, like, you have to, like, you're like, oh shit, like, you have a notebook, you're like, all right, this is the bad guy I gotta kill. Like, you're writing shit down, you know?
Yeah. And also, leading up to this game, Miyazaki was like, this is going to be the most, like, accessible Souls game out there. Like, the easiest one to learn. Not that it's easy, but it will be the...
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's the most user-friendly. It's like, hey, you've never played a Souls game, pick this up. Because Miyazaki's I feel like his whole game plan was, pick this up, and you're like, oh, I like this style of game. It's like, all right, play the other fucking 7 compendium of Dark Souls games.
Yeah. Now go buy our other games.
Yeah, and then fucking get shit on there too, and you're like, yeah, I fucking love it. Like, you get addicted to it. It's like Stockholm syndrome. You're like, this game's fucking kicking my ass, but fuck if I don't love it.
I'm stoked to play it. I'm probably gonna play it after this, so we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know.
I can fucking say with full confidence I'm probably gonna play it after this, honestly.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I gotta hop back in. I have to pee, so if you want to roll into the next news, I'll be here. I'll listen. But we're gonna do you like, what's the next news story you want to roll
That's
into?
what I'm saying. I don't know where to go, like, because I want to talk about Ollie World.
We can, so, like, to be fair and to give you an insight, listeners, into our editing process / planning process, we had a plan for this week and it dropped, if you remember from the beginning of the cast. So all this news that we might or might not talk about is kind of shit we pulled out of our ass in 20 minutes. So if you want to talk about Ollie World, you can, because I am okay with that, and then rolling into Elite Dangerous for me, and then ending the cast, because it's probably gonna be another 40 minutes when we're done. So
yeah, I don't even know if we'll get to the news. News isn't super important anyways. Call of Duty might not happen next year. There you go.
Yeah, might not happen, and then fucking DICE is
stupid.
DICE is stupid because of the Ukraine situation, and then all that. So yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna go pee.
All right, I'm gonna talk about Ollie World. So, Ollie World, of course, you know me. I'm addicted to skateboarding games. I love extreme sports and extreme sports games. So I had to pick up Ollie Ollie World. There was 2 Ollie Ollie games before this game, and they were both 2D side-scroller skateboarding games. Pretty hardcore, to be honest. They had a learning curve to them, because you had to like time when you landed on the ground and stuff, and that added element to it made it really hard to get the hang of. And I never really got into Ollie Ollie, but this one came around and they made it. It's still a side scroller, but it's 3D now, and it's got a bit of a story to it. There's some characters in it that you meet, a lot of character customization. The graphic style was really good. Like, I would compare it to probably like Adventure Time, if I were to compare it to something that's popular. It kind of looks like Adventure Time to me. Doesn't take itself seriously at all, but the levels are super fun. And this game is all about like stringing together combos, getting the most points. It's very Tony Hawk-esque. Every level is doable in one combo, and I'm trying to like not do that, because every level, if you try to do every level in one combo, you're going to be on one level for like an hour every time, and it's so annoying. But I can't stop. I'm like, no, I have to get it all in one combo every single time.
I feel that.
That's what I was talking about earlier with the Dark Souls thing, because like I'm getting pissed off because like I'll get like right there to the end and then I miss a gap. Like, it's so precise too, because like if you hit this rail like at a weird timing early in the level, it's gonna mess you up on this ramp down the road in like the end of the level. So like it's all about your timing, your speed, your flow, and like still building that combo and still landing your manuals and stuff.
Oh, okay, so like I heard you say Adventure Time. Like I have no idea what Ollie Ollie World is, and then I looked it up. That's fucking Adventure Time with skateboards. Now that I'm looking at
It's sick, dude. I love the gameplay. Even it being like a cartoony side scroller, like the tricks still look really good, and it's still like, ooh, like that hard flip to crooked grunt, sick. Like it still has that. Yeah, no, it's really fun. And then they have first of all, the soundtrack is insane. It's amazing. It's just like lo-fi beats like this podcast.
Hey.
And it's so good. And then their online is really cool. So they have competitive in this game. And, you know, you go through divisions, ranks, bronze, silver. But the way they do it is you join a lobby, and it's like 20 people, I think, or like 12 people or something like that. And everyone has 20 minutes, like 20 real-time minutes. And they give you this map that's procedurally generated. Everyone gets the same map, just randomly placed objects and stuff, and you just try to get the biggest combo you can on the level. And it's really cool. It's fun, and it keeps it fresh because every map is different because it's procedurally generated. So I really like that. I like the competitive play.
That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't know that it like had a multiplayer element to it. Besides, obviously, like, hey, I'm gonna skate this and you skate that.
Yeah, I don't remember the other ones having multiplayer. Like I said, I didn't really get too into the other ones because they were like hardcore as fuck. But this one's great, man. I'm having a great time with it. But doing levels all in one combos hard. And like I remember when I did my first level in one whole combo and I got like 500,000 points. I was like, let's fucking go. Like I recorded it. I was like, that was so sick. And then you can look at the leaderboards for every level. And I looked at the number one spot. Dude had 2 million score.
Oh, suck my ass, bro. Like,
right. And you can go back and view like everyone's replay, which is really cool too. So you can see how they got that score. And this guy, oh my god, like I would imagine his fingers are just like like on the thumbsticks, just going back and forth, and he's just like hopping all over the map. Like it doesn't even make sense. Like he's just spamming tricks, and like I still like to keep a little bit of style to the game. I'm like, I want a little bit of steez in the tricks. Like I don't want to just go around spamming tricks and.
Nah, that's not how the game's played.
Yeah, it's not fun. But I'm about halfway done with the game, I think. I would be a lot further if I didn't keep trying to fucking beat every level in one combo, but...
That's that perfectionist mentality you get, man, honestly.
It's the same thing with Trials. I used to do this with Trials, too. I would not use a checkpoint to save my life. I was like, nope, if I fall, restart the whole level.
Yeah, fuck you, I'm done.
That's really it for Ollie Ollie World, though. I just want to talk about that for a little bit. For some reason, I'm super out of breath.
Long-winded, bro.
It's the 40. The 40 taking the breath out of me.
That 20 that's left, what you mean?
20 that's left.
So all I've been playing, which is pretty obvious, is Elden Ring. But throughout throughout the week, before Elden Ring came out, because I actually found out like almost last minute that Elden Ring was dropping at 6 p.m. EST on Thursday for us on PC. So I was like, okay, I got like a early access, I guess you want to say, for PC gaming, which is pretty cool. But before that, I was playing a fuck ton, and I plan to play it a lot more. Elite Dangerous, which I think we talked a little bit about, was the most hardcore fucking space navigation fucking game in the world, right? I found my fucking niche though, right? Like, so everything in the game is measured by credits, which makes sense because you're in like a space colony stylized thing where like there's a universal like, hey man, you got this much money.
So hold on, because this is the same people that make No Man's Sky. So is it like the same credits? It's Hello Games.
Is it really?
Yeah. That's why I told you last time. I was like, oh, it's like No Man's Sky, but without the planets. Like,
no, so like the planets are there.
Well, they're there, but...
let me find out. I mean, I believe you, but like...
Unless I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I swore it was.
It might be.
Okay.
I almost knocked my beer over.
Oh.
It's Frontier. They're a UK-based
Frontier?
thing. Yeah.
What is... Hold on. What it looks like No Man's Sky. What does Hello Games make that I'm confusing it with?
Good question. So Frontier made Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. Yeah.
Yeah, Frontier is like the roller coaster guys.
Which is what this fucking game feels like, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. Hello Games made
No Man's Sky, The Last Campfire, and Joe Danger. Why did I think they made that game? That's weird.
Because it's the same game, but it's like it's got a realistic.
To be fair, it looks exactly like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, when it comes to like space travel, it looks the same, like with like rendering planets and shit like that, and like the warp drive. Like, yeah. I feel that. Oh, but I found my niche because this game is right up my alley when it comes to like being super fucking complicated all the time for no fucking reason. But once you learn it, because that was the one thing that turned me away from it, is I had a couple friends who were like, hey bro, we should play No Man's Sky together, and they were like, you should get it on PS4, and I'm like, nah, I don't know, man, because like the one thing I saw about it was, hey man, the learning curve is a fucking 90 degrees, which turned me away at the time. But like now that I'm thinking about it, and we've had this whole like hour-long Elden Ring talk, I was like, that was not a turn off for me. I was like, okay, I can't wait to hit a fucking brick wall and not know how to play the game.
Yeah.
And just force myself to learn. But the like one of the big things I got into recently in Elite Dangerous was mining, because mining is not like, hey, I'm gonna go shoot some rocks and pick up some shit. It's like you have to actually fit your fucking ship to mine asteroids,
Really? That's cool.
Well, there's like 4 different types of mining too. There's like surface mining, there's subsurface, there's like surface deposits, there's like you can fucking shoot an asteroid and crack it in half and find shit. And I built my little shithead ship, my little Cobra Mark III, I think is the ship I'm running right now, for surface mining and subsurface deposits, where you shoot a missile, which is a drill, and it drills into it, and you have to like hold the trigger until you find a good like deposit, and you're like boom, like go, and it's like all right, found it. But then you also have to build your ship to have little fucking units that go out and collect the shit you mine. It's a whole fucking thing, dude. Honestly, and it was right up my alley because the one thing I'll do like when I'm like relaxing or like I'm like, hey, I'm gonna hop on Elite Dangerous, and like nobody's on, nobody's playing, or like people are playing but they're doing their own thing. Like I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna go mine and like vibe out. Is the AI are fucking relentless in this game. Like, there's player AI or players and there's AI, right? But the AI are more prominent when it comes to like local systems and stuff. So miners are like the biggest target for like pirate NPCs because like mining is a big industry. One of the big things that I mine in the system, like the system that I'm in, is low temperature diamonds, which sell for about 100 to 300 depending on what port you sell them in. 100,000 to 300,000 credits, which is fucking pretty good hourly wages, you know. And like you'll get ship scans, and like ship scanning is a big mechanic of the game. They're like, hey, what's this guy going on? What's going on with this guy? What cargo does he have? Is he wanted by the police? Because if I kill him, I get a bounty. And like pirates are like dickheads and they're like relentless. So like I'll be out there mining, and I got like 20 or 30 like low temperature diamond like units in my fucking cargo bay, and they're like, what you got? What's going on? And I'm like, bro, stop. Like, why? Come on. So then like I have to fucking like drop my prospector drones or whatever I have like out like to pick stuff up, and like, okay, close my cargo hatch, which is another complicated procedure to fucking figure out on my HOTUS, and then like fly towards the nearest space cop to be like, bro, please help. I don't have this. Like I can win a one-on-one dogfight, but these pirates roll like fucking 4 or 5, 6 fucking deep, dude. So like I'm in there like, hey bro, drop your cargo, and it'll come up in the chat and it'll be like, hey, give me 50,000 credits worth of cargo, and I'm like, all right. So like as soon as I get that message, I'm like, god damn it, I'll close the cargo bay, get rid of the drones, and be like, all powered engines, like I'm running to the cops. But like the whole time when you mine, you have to mine in like asteroid fields or deposits. So you're fucking like whoom, 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 like dodging all these fucking asteroids while fucking lasers. It's the most immersive thing ever, and I fucking love it so much. But
that
like
game, that game sounds stressful, dude.
It is. That's the thing. Like it's right up my alley when it comes to the fact that it's the most like one of the most stressful games I played. Because another thing with that is that you can be frame shift drive interdicted, which probably doesn't mean anything to you, but like they can pull you out of hyperspace when you're jumping to a thing and be like, hey, give me your shit, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like it's like a pirate taking over your fucking like your ship in real life. So like I'll avoid everything, cool, whatever. I'll get back to a space station where it's safe and cops are like patrolling or whatever, and I'm like, oh, thank God. But the mining galaxies or the mining systems, obviously you can't sell the shit you're mining for there for the most amount of money because they're like, hey, we have that, like it's abundant. So you have to jump 20, 30, 45, 60 fucking light years away to sell it for like the highest profit. So the whole time you're doing that, you're like, oh, fuck. It's like a caravan thing like Oregon Trail where you're like, okay, you jump into a system and you're like, what the fuck is around me? I gotta get out of here as quick as possible. Like you're jumping, but then also fuel's a measurement. So like you have to scoop fuel off stars or be like, okay, cool. I'm stranded now in space. But to move this into like one of the community thing, which is really cool about it, there's a community-run Discord that Elite Dangerous has called the programmer or the devs programmed it into the game. Frontier put it in the game for like adverts and stuff that pop up in space stations. There's a player Discord called the Fuel Rats. So if you're stranded, right, and like you have no fuel, like you can't move. Obviously, that's how cars work and spaceships work.
Right.
You can join this Discord and be like, hey, this is the system that I'm in. And you can set a ping and be like, please help. And these motherfuckers, they're real people. Like, they will come to you and you drop in the Discord and they like role play it really well.
Dude, I love that. That's
yeah,
so...
like that's their whole thing is like they're like on shifts in real life to be like, hey, who needs fuel? And they'll jump to the system you're in. They'll hook up to your ship, pump you with fuel, and be like, all right, bro, good luck, have a good time, Commander, and then fucking dip out. Like
they don't
like,
charge you?
No, like they're like AAA. They're AAA for Elite Dangerous, but they're just people. They're just people who are having a good time with the game and role playing, which is fucking phenomenal. It's great to the point where the devs put it as a like actual like ad, so to speak, in the space stations. Because you'll land on space stations and it'll be like, hey, buy this new space rock or whatever the fuck. But then you'll see a fuel rat fucking icon. It's like it's like 1-800 fuel rats or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But you hop in the Discord and they're like, all right, Commander, where are you at? And they're like, they take that shit fucking seriously. It's so fucking cool. Like, it's the most immersive fucking community that I feel like I've been involved in. I've never had to utilize it, but I know if I get stuck somewhere, I can be like, hey,
they got
I'm
you
stuck.
back.
They got my back, bro. Exactly. Like,
that's awesome. That makes me think of like some GTA RP shit. That's cool.
Yeah, like those dudes that run those like modded servers for GTA 5 where they're like state cops or whatever. They're like, all right, I'm Officer fucking Smith, and show me your license. Like that's fucking the next level of video games when it comes to like role playing shit. Like I love it so much. It reminds me of Baldur's Gate or like even D&D, like playing the role that you pick and you're assigned to, and just that's your job. I love it. It's so good.
GTA RP is awesome. I want to do it. Real quick though, this iPad is at 2%.
All right, we're probably at the time anyway, so we gotta probably call it.
Well, we're at 110. Do you want to keep going? I can switch over to the phone.
No, I feel like you would fuck up the footage.
Will it?
To switch from iPad to phone and then like set everything back up. So
yeah.
I mean, it's a quick little guy to.
Definitely quicker than 2 hours last week.
Quick. I mean,
I want to talk about GTA RP though, but we'll save it for.
We'll save it for next week.
Next week, well, hopefully X will be here next week. So.
Well, hopefully we start on time when X shows up, so we can actually.
Yeah, well, it's my fault. So.
I don't want to blame you, but yeah.
It's my fault. I didn't know this thing was dead. It's literally about to die. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, shit. This has been a cut and dry, pretty early episode of Super Pixels Weekly. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm Donovan.
And I'm William. Go check out our YouTube and Donovan's Twitch, my YouTube, whatever. For real, we're making content for the Super Pixels Weekly YouTube. And yeah, still check us out on audio platforms and email us anything, whatever. If you like. Do you like Elden Ring? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Shoot us an email. If you have any discrepancies, shoot them to us in an email. All of our personal links, the Twitch I'm live on or we're live on, is in the description. William's YouTube's in the description. Our YouTube, Super Pixels Weekly, has been popping off. You guys are fucking relentless. Same with the TikTok. I've gotten a ton of fucking like follows and likes. I'm running it from my personal TikTok, but like whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. So social media's been popping up. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna throw it out there. That you guys are engaging, whether you're somebody that we know personally or like you happen to randomly walk in on a YouTube short and you're like, these guys sound pretty cool. It's dope, to be honest with you. So yeah, shorts are popping off. Give the YouTube a like, subscribe, whatever. It doesn't cost you a single dime. Same with the Twitch, same with the TikTok. We do this for fun. It's pretty cool when we get as big as we are getting, which is not super big, to be honest with you. We had an influx of like 30 or 40 subscribers, so it sounds good to us, like little farm town boys, whatever you want to call us. When people.
A lot to us, for real.
Yeah, it's cool that people are like, hey, these guys are saying the gospel, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the socials are in the links. all of the Twitch stuffs and links. If you're listening this far on the actual audio VOD, or the podcast, excuse me, you know all this bullshit already, but you guys have a great fucking weekend. I'm sure this episode will come up on Monday or Sunday night, which is Monday for you when you go to work. Next week we will see you. We're probably going to roll into Games That Made Us part 2 if it works. This week kind of didn't work out, so we're giving you some filler shit. We're doing some fan service, right? So
and more Elden Ring talk probably.
Absolutely.
I'm at 1%. I'm at 1%. So if I drop out of here, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Go play Elden Ring. I'm gonna go play Elden Ring. We're all gonna cry together.
We're all gonna play Elden Ring and be mad and fucking put fists through our monitors. William's gonna drop for sure. So I'm gonna say it right now. We'll see you guys next week. Later.
I don't know the context of this conversation at all. He just told me to come out here and say this.
No, Pavardi she's my number 1.
Number 1! She is. All right.
She was number 1.
She is. She's fucking Schmitty Werber Jaegerman Jensen.